Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing my very first book type review vlog. I'm going to be starting out with the book The Proposal by Jasmine Guillory. This book was really good. I finished it in about, I'd say 2 days. I would have to say that, you know, the whole scene around the actual proposal, her just saying no is very light compared to what some other folks might have done. But in the end, she did, you know, sort of kinda get what she wanted. So at least it ended on a happy note. But yeah, it was really good. I would love to see like a continuation of their relationship. But it was pretty good. This book also ties into, I think it's the wedding date. Because they do mention the characters from that book in here. Next is one that I actually read off of Audible, but I ended up buying the actual book. And that is Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. Absolutely loved. I would say everybody sort of needs a friend like Samson, just because like Samson was never fake with everybody. Yes, everybody assumed he was a certain way, and yes, he could have been like, no, that's not me, this and that, but he just rolled with it. I have a feeling that, yeah, in a way, if he would have told the truth, they probably wouldn't have been friends with him. But, you know, he still probably could have or should have taken that chance. But, again, this one ended on a happy note. I definitely want to read it again. But I do have a long list of books in my to be read section right now, so I'm trying to get through everything else. After that, I read, which one did I read next? I read It Ends With You by Colleen Hoover. I've been on a Colleen Hoover kick right now. I know pretty much everybody else in the world is too. But I read It Ends With Us. That one is the story of Lily and Ryle. If you have certain things that trigger you, meaning like domestic abuse, all of that type of stuff, essay, this might not be the line of books for you. I am maybe going to read this one again. Like around mid-October, just because part 2 of it, which is titled It Starts With Us, comes out on October 18th, which is the day after my birthday. So I might read It Ends With Us again on my actual birthday before I read It Starts With Us, just to sort of get a refresher going in. But this book, it talked a lot about domestic abuse, like violence, all of that type of stuff. So if that stuff triggers you, you might want to just skip on past that. After that one, I read November 9th. That one, story of Fallon and Ben. Again, this is one of those, it has a lot of trigger points in it. This one being more so along the lines of manipulation, child neglect, all of that, suicide, all of that type of stuff. But it goes through their journey of like how they met. It talks a little bit about like their teenage years, which is where a lot of their trauma actually happens. And then in the end, it sort of just all boils over and comes out. And it's pretty much on them two as to where, you know, they want to go. That one, it did end on somewhat of a happy note. A lot of these, yeah, I would love to see the continuation of their stories, but I know not every author can do that for every single book because it's not logical. After that one, I read I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. Yeah. This book should actually come with a trigger warning. I spent a lot of the book completely pissed off for good reason, just because of topics that come up in the book. I'm not really going to go into all of them. Just if you've read it, you understand. I knew her from obviously the show iCarly because my daughter grew up watching it. And yeah, over the years, certain things would come out talking about some stuff that she went through as far as working for Nickelodeon and how she was treated. But you know, stuff comes out like that all the time with like different networks and different, you know, actors, actresses, singers, whatever. But the stuff that she went through with her mother, was crazy. Like, off the charts crazy. Like, I actually told somebody, like, if that was my mama, we would have had to fight. After that, I read Confess, another Colleen Hoover book. This was just sort of to, you know, get my mind off of what I read with, you know, Jeanette McCurdy. Sort of more of a lighthearted type book, but it did touch on, you know, loss and grief and, yet again, domestic violence. But this one, it wasn't so much as, I can't really compare it to November 9th. I'll say that. No, not November 9th. I take that back. It ends with you. I can't really compare the two because with November 9th, I am stuck on November 9th. With It Ends With Us, that book went deeper into domestic violence than Confess did. Confess only had maybe a couple scenes of the book that touched on that, but it wasn't as intense. So far, I haven't really had a book where it didn't seem to what am I trying to say? Oh no, I'll come back to that. But it was a very good book to read. A lot of people, they start out with either Heart Bones or Confess, November 9th, It Ends With You as their very first Colleen Hoover book. Some people have actually started out with the next one I'm getting ready to mention as their first book, and I couldn't have had that as my very first Colleen Hoover book. And that is Verity. Point blank, period. Verity goes there. Like, Verity will have you the entire book feeling like you are traumatized. Like, from the very first sentence of the book, I was sitting there like, what in the world am I listening to? And it just keeps going layer after layer after layer of like, oh my God. Like, I see a lot of people online, they'll say like team manuscript, team letter. And I'm like, when I actually got to the point where I could understand why they're saying they're either team manuscript or team letter, I'm like, I don't even know what team I'm even on, because I'm still stuck. Because that manuscript was like, dark is an understatement. The letter, even still, it had its moments where it was like dark. But when you get to the end, and you, like, all of her books, you think you know how the story is going to end. But yeah, don't even try and guess. Because I never guessed the end of Verity. And when it got to the end, I was like, okay. But then you get further towards the end and you're like, let's back it on up a little bit. Because, maybe instead of this situation happening back here, maybe they should have went a whole different direction. Because, yeah. I already have my next book that I'm going to be reading. And that is, yet again, another Colleen Hoover book. I'm trying to get through all of hers. She has quite a few of them. The next one I'm reading is called Reminders of Him. I would say this one's going to be like another maybe 2-day book for me. Maybe 3. I don't know, depends. I also have some more in my to be read section of, well, my wish list on Audible, as well as my not started yet section on Audible. I also have a couple of books that I'm wanting to order from Amazon that are sitting in my cart that are from other authors that I'm wanting to read. So we will see how many of those I get throughout, the rest of September. And then maybe I'll try to switch this up and do like just monthly book videos, where it's like all the books I've read during one specific month, and do it that way instead of doing, multiple videos throughout the month. So yeah, let me know down below what you are reading, what you have read, what you thought about it. Anything that maybe you disagreed with what I said, just to sort of get a conversation going. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one.